Hello, welcome to the Cakes by Ellie channel. Today I'm taking you through the step-by-step process of this beautiful wedding cake. Let's go. I pre-ordered the couple images and I think I got about 12 of them. You want to roll out your fondant very thinly and using a craft knife you want to cut out the silhouette of the couple. Right, so after cutting that out, I put back the image on the fondant and using the Dresden tool you want to mark out the important lines on the image. Here I'm using a crimper to make extra detail on the wedding dress just so it looks nice and realistic. After making this, that's what it looks like. So you want to pick it up carefully and store either in a ziploc or in a baking tray, making sure you cover properly, okay, because I'm using this later and I want to prevent from drying out. The next big detail on this wedding cake is of course the sugar flower. So here I'm assembling the sugar flowers that we've already pre-made weeks earlier. They had enough time to dry and I'm just assembling them using a florist tape, okay, in order to form this beautiful bunch or this beautiful arrangement that you see here. Okay, so a bunch comprises of I think about 5 flowers with some leaves in between. I'm just going to set that aside and move on to the next thing. Here I have my pre-made acrylic and I chose to use acrylic in this one because of the effects that I was going for, which you would see at the end of the video. Okay, but just like every other big project or big wedding cakes that we've done in the past, we start by doing a sketch or by putting the sizes together on a computer just so we know the proportions of the things we have to make and how to make them or how to go about them. So also for this particular effect, if you do not have the acrylic or if you do not have enough time to get it done, you can use an acetate sheet in place of it. The essence is for the light to come through. Okay, so I have my staff rolling out the fondant for me. It's a thin covering of fondants that we're doing on the acrylic that I showed you guys earlier. It's a very big one. It measures about 22 inches. So we have to roll like very long fondant because we're covering it all around and we're using the paneling method to cover the acrylic. Of course, we added a little bit of shortening to the acrylic just to make the fondant stick to it. It's all done now, and then it's time to stack the cakes. Okay. So this tier is the tier that goes in before the acrylic covering. Okay, you want to make sure you position that well. I attached my lights all around this particular tier because I wanted the light reflection to come through the acrylic. Okay, and here I'm putting the acrylic that I've pre-covered in thin fondant over it. Okay, so I then continue my stacking. On the inner tier, you of course want to make sure it's doweled, so every other thing you have on top has got structure to rest upon. Okay, it's all done now, it's all stacked now, and the silhouette that I pre-made earlier, I'm sticking it around the acrylic tiers. This also is an acrylic tier. I have two acrylic tiers in this particular wedding cake. I get to attach extra details on my acrylic tiers. Okay. It's all coming together nicely and just the way I want it to. Okay, and of course we have to power it up to see how the silhouette comes through. Okay, and of course, just like every other glow in the dark cake, you appreciate this more when some of the lights are out. It's so beautiful and it's exactly what I thought it would be. After setting it up at the studio, we then take the tiers apart in order to transport them to the venue where we stack them again. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up.